We're live. So welcome to this week's Time with Gramps. My special guest this week is none other than Catfish Jones from the state of Kansas in the USA.
That's me.
I've put the link in of his channel on the live chat. We've got no viewers in at the moment. Don't know why that is. I've set it yet. It's come on the YouTube. So
there you go. I see.
Yeah, we've got 2 viewers in now. So Catfish Jones, this is the first time I've spoken to you. Virtually, I know nothing about your channel, so or yourself. So could you tell us, the viewers that we've got in, and we've only got 2 at the moment, 3 now. Could you please tell us a bit about yourself? How old you are?
Oh, yeah. I'm mostly a musician from here in Kansas. I play a lot of guitar, kind of been playing and writing songs with my friends for 20-some years, just doing fun stuff for us. Only really been doing YouTube seriously for the past handful of months, maybe 8-10 months. I've had a channel for a while. It's been up for years, just posting little things here and there, but only been doing it seriously for the past 6 or 8 months. But yeah, mostly my channel is me playing guitar and singing some songs that we wrote, having fun like that. Lately, I've been doing some painting. I've been doing some drawing, just some other different stuff, but just stuff that I would be doing anyway, stuff that I would find fun and would be doing anyway. So that's what I do.
So have you always been a musician then?
I grew up in a very musical family, and it was always around, both on my mother's side and my father's side. So I just kind of thought everybody played music, and when it was time for me to pick up an instrument, I gravitated towards guitar. I played a little bit of bass, but started with guitar. And, you know, by the time I was 16 years old, I had really identified with guitar and, you know, started writing my own songs and having fun with it, just trying to, you know, make my personality come through on songs I was playing.
Oh, well, because, you know, I mean, I've followed your channel now. I've been a subscriber of your channel for about 10 months, I think.
Yeah, since the early days of my actual vlogging.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And you've got 76 videos up to date. And as you said, they're mainly songs that you have written yourself with your friends, I believe.
That is correct.
Yeah. What about, how do you see your YouTube channel growing then? What's your goal for the next year?
I like to concentrate on the content specifically. I'm really honing what I do, trying to figure out some of the other different niches that I can hit besides just playing guitar and some songs that I write. And there's a lot of things that I love to do. I've got a very busy brain, and I'm always thinking about the next project and the next project. And for me, it's provided an outlet, but I don't want to just, you know, make some casual content. I really want to make good content. And until my content is at a standard that I'm consistently happy with, I'm not trying to get everybody to come look at me. I kind of want to grow slowly, and then as it catches on, I think that it'll I don't know, grow larger with the quality of content, I guess.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing paintings and drawings? Because I've seen quite a few. Well, I've seen 60% of your videos today I've watched. And I noticed you drew a cowboy. I thought that was very good, because my son-in-law, whose house I'm at now, he's the best painter of black Labradors in the world. He's been an artist since he was since he was at school, but professionally he's been an artist since he was in his early 20s and made a very, very good living at it.
That's interesting, because in my teens is when I really embraced painting specifically. I was drawing a little bit here and there. And I almost went to school and tried to do it professionally, but I decided that whole life really didn't work out for what I was wanting to do. And so I let music kind of take a step forward, and the art, painting and drawing, really played sidecar to all of that for a long time. And only in the past, you know, season or two have I actually been concentrating again on visual art and painting and drawing and stuff like that, and reigniting the passion in me for that type of stuff. And it's something that I'm surprised that I still have the hand for it. I thought maybe I had lost it, and I don't think that I have. And just the inspiration to keep doing more and keep doing more. And, you know, that's not to leave out some very important YouTubers to me. Mark Fun Jones and Lindsay the Frugal Crafter are both two YouTubers that on a painting and drawing level have inspired me to make videos of my paintings and drawings. So it's part of the networking of YouTube that is awesome, that, you know, you put out a video and it inspires somebody to put out a video that comes back and inspires you again. It's just magical. I love it.
It is, yeah. I fully agree with you on that. So, have you got many albums that you have recorded out, CDs or whatever?
You know, I haven't concentrated on that aspect very much. Mostly what I've been doing is being a hermit in my basement and writing a bunch of songs with my buddies. But that is certainly on my mind. We've done some recordings and they've sounded awesome, but, you know, we've never really officially published them or anything like that. And, you know, we're at a point now, I play with a group with my buddies, we're called The Normal Reaction, and we're certainly looking at recording and publishing and trying to go a step further than we've ever gone, trying to take it out of the basement and to share with others. And I think this vlogging, the YouTubing, has been an inspiration for them as well, to say, hey, there are people that are interested in what we're doing, and we need to share it. We owe it to everybody else to share it with them.
Yeah, and have they got their own separate channels, or are they all in with you then?
They do not. Yeah, they're all in with me. In fact, they've got regular lives and don't really exist on the YouTube very much at all. I have almost no life except for YouTube, and I'm okay with that. I'm very much a hermit, and I embrace it. And they are as well in their own aspects. This is the aspect that I embrace, and I think they're glad to see me have some success with it, and that makes them, you know, want to get more involved as a group to try to share it with everybody else in a more professional sense.
Because you've done 2 or 3 live broadcasts with singing and playing a guitar, will the group be involved in any of your future live broadcasts?
I'm trying to get them a little more involved, not to rush it. There again, you know, I think they would like a higher quality level than I can currently produce. And for me personally, that was always a personal goal of mine, to be able to play live and have a live stream on the internet at the same time, being able to interact with the whole thing. And just because it's a huge passion of mine doesn't mean that it was theirs, and not to negate their passion for it at all. It's just something that for them, I think they're more interested in a more traditional role in music, you know, where you go and cut a record, you get a deal, you do this. And even if we do it a little differently than that, I think that's kind of the standard that we're setting for ourselves as a group. But me personally, I love just putting it all out there. Sometimes a little more casual of content, a little more loose, but very real, I guess, is my thing.
Yeah.
Some of the words are on there, but sometimes that makes it better.
Yeah, because watching one of your videos, you mentioned the album that you did called Etchings. Could you explain a bit?
I talk it up like an album, but I don't know. Sometimes I take myself too seriously, and sometimes I don't. Bandcamp.com/Catfish Jones, I think, is how you get there. And it's all on there. Look it up here. CatfishJones.bandcamp.com. And it's got an album called Old Songs. And they're kind of albums. It's a grouping of songs. But I don't know. I mean, they're not officially published. They're not through a record label. It's just me making some songs on my computer at a quality level that I don't think is acceptable for myself and my friends. Just something that's the best I could do in 2008. So that's what I did. I call it an album, but it's not really an official, you know, released through BMI or ASCAP type album.
Yeah. So can anybody download any of those songs from that website you just mentioned?
Oh, sure. They're on there. All of those songs as a full album or individually, a number of other songs as well. Like I say, catfishjones.bandcamp.com. It's kind of where I was putting my songs before I found YouTube as an outlet.
Yeah.
And I wasn't as regular on there as I would have liked to be, as I intended initially, which is the other thing that YouTube is awesome for, is inspiring that regularity that, you know, for me, I set a weekly goal, and now it's every week I do a vlog, and it really is good for me.
Yeah, I'll give you a wrench, Catfish Jones. So if you want to put a link into your website in the chat window so people can click on it and know where to go and listen to your songs. So that leads me to the next question then, is could any of us YouTubers who follow you, or anybody on YouTube, could we use any of your songs on our videos?
I would be okay with that. I'd prefer some communication, you know, just, hey, I'm going to put this on a video or something like that. But I'm totally open to anybody using these songs on videos. Like I say, they're not officially published through a record company or anything like that. It's just something that I do for me, for fun. But I would, you know, some acknowledgement, like a little bit of, hey, Catfish, going to use this in a video. And, you know, I can watch it from there. But it's not something that if somebody used it, I would rush to take it down or say, hey, I'm offended or anything like that. I love sharing it. I love it being open. I just like to know about it so I can see it.
Well, that's why I thought I'd asked you that, because, you know, if we give credit to you and we notify you first and asked you, and then we put the credits in, who the music was written by and everything like that, that's
oh yeah.
Oh well, that's good then, you know. So I appreciate that, and I hope the 10 viewers do as well, because some of your songs, you know, and we could do with a few instrumentals for drone videos.
Well, and I think that could help. I don't have a ton of instrumentals, but there's some good stuff in there that I think would work. I see a lot of drone videos, and the free music that you can get through Google or whatever, sometimes I see the same songs on a lot of these videos. And it seems like maybe there's some room for more variety, as it were. So I certainly, anybody that wanted to use my music is welcome to. I don't know if I have it set up that way on YouTube, but that's my intention, is to have it set up that way.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I've just read on your link to your channel again in the chat window. So I'm going to ask you now, Catfish, put you on the spot a bit. Could you play a number for us then?
I would be happy to, if we have time. I have my mandolin sitting close by, so I hope that the audio sounds well. This is a song called Crest, off of that album Etchings that you had mentioned, and it goes like this. From the crest, the tallest hill I can find, I survey the land blowing out below. The sky is clear, the sun is kind, the trees are green, the prairie yellow. The path that leads from the point I stand may lead anywhere, even back to here. From the step I take to mark the start, there is a pace that I feel I can meet if I clear my mind, steady my heart. Second step leads to shuffled feet. The path that leads from the point I stand may lead anywhere, even back to here. The things I see as I stroll on my way, like a trickling stream that courses on the weaving trees, the wild waving hay, solemn shrub underneath the rock. The path that leads from the point I stand may lead anywhere, even back to here. the sounds that spring from the land of I. Just like that gentle stream that courses on, the leaves in the air, they rustle inside. Their thoughts are spread by the wind like songs. The path that leads from the point I stand may lead anywhere, even back to here. The road I walk, it's my way home. It may lead anywhere, even back to here.
Thank
you so much. That's called Crest.
So, Catfish, who was your inspiration then when you was younger in the music industry?
Inspiration was so easy for me to find. So many different artists close to me. My father and my grandfather, in two different directions, played music. My dad was very influenced by 70s rock and roll, and my grandfather was very influenced by 50s country. And the two of those, all of those influences then stacked on top of me. So you had your Hank Snow and your Hank Williams and stuff like that, but then you also had Thin Lizzy and all these other great rockers. So for me, it all came together in this little amalgamation that it all feels like home to me, you know, whether it's Bob Seger or even some of this other stuff. I don't know, there's so many for me. And even as an adult getting into, you know, some of the deep jazz, your Miles Davis and you know, Dexter Gordon and guys like that. It inspires me to always seek a new horizon musically, never to be satisfied with what I've done, as proud as I may be of it, but to seek for what tomorrow might bring and what I might be able to write tomorrow. And maybe that's the key of it, is the songwriting has always been what inspired me, you know, whether it was Phil Lynott or any of these other guys that are writing great songs that just blow my mind. For me, it's like, I wish I wrote that song. Not necessarily I wish I could get that guitar tone or I wish I could play that part. I wish I wrote that song. So that's where my inspiration comes from. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it does. I'm just going to mention a few people that are in the chat window. Vlad from the box.
Gail, there we go. And see all kinds of people.
Yeah, Gail, would you like to come in and ask a few questions to Catfish Jones, because you've been a follower of this for quite some time? I will invite you.
Tony, all these wonderful people.
Yeah.
I've seen a few of his videos.
Random Life Productions, because I said I was going to invite her in if she wants to come in.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So have you seen what she's just said? You should do a collab with Sarah Birchett.
Oh, yes, that would be awesome. I'm all for collaboration.
Yeah, because I interviewed her about, 3 or 4 weeks ago. Great voice as well. And I've got Sassy Singer coming on eventually in the next 2 or 3 weeks with her. So if you have she's a bit knackered at the moment. So, Gail, would you like Catfish to sing any number? Have you got a favourite or anything like that?
Taking requests.
Or would anybody in the chat window like to ask Catfish any questions? Because I've got a few more to ask him. It's all about his music. So besides music then, Catfish Jones, have you got any other interest? I know you've mentioned painting, so and drawing.
I do, and I play music quite a bit for myself, but I also enjoy video games. My wife and I enjoy playing Minecraft together. It's kind of odd that, you know, adults at our age will play kids' video games, but there is something about being with your friends in a virtual environment and getting to do what you want. And that's something that, you know, and not just my wife and I, but our whole circle of friends, we have a good group that we get together and game in. And that's something that does take a lot of my good time, you know, all of my time spent with friends and stuff. It might be virtually, you know, they might not even be in the same town or the same area, but, you know, I'm getting to spend a lot of good time with them. So video games certainly are another aspect that I do. And I like to watch, kind of a news watcher. I'm interested in world politics and stuff like that. So I like to watch what's going on in the world, and I do spend a lot of time on my cell phone just bloop, 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 just looking for headlines and looking for headlines just about everything going on in the world and trying to get an overall picture of the world, I guess, is my goal. I don't know if it's a goal that can ever be attained, as crazy as the world is, but it's interesting to me. So.
Yeah. Oh, we've just got Barrowboy Woods in the house, and Welsh Tony says he still plays Minecraft, and he's 31.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't. They're potentially complex. That there's so much you can do if you choose to, that I never really get bored with it. And there's some other games, but for me, Minecraft is the one that I always just come back to. It's home base. I've been playing since very early on when they first kind of put it together. My brother-in-law found it. It was like, oh, you got to play this. And so we've been playing it since then. And that was, I don't know, 2010, something like that. I don't know the dates, but it's been a very long time that we've been enjoying that game.
Oh, well, that's brilliant. You know, I mean, it helps you to relax. So is music a full-time job for you, or have you got another job?
I do have a full-time job, and it's a little more regular life. It's just, working in a warehouse. It does happen, though, that warehouse has to do with music, and so I'm fortunate there. I don't really want to go too deep into my work because, I'm not having a fun time, but it's an interesting aspect of my life that I would like to share with everybody eventually. But at the beginning, I really want to concentrate on what I'm doing outside of work, because the things that I do at work, they stand a good chance to be more interesting than what I do outside of work. But I really want to concentrate on this first, and then share little glimpses of that as I see fit. And anybody who knows me knows what I'm talking about. And it's a fun thing. It's not something where, I'm ashamed of it or anything like that. It's an interesting thing, but it's not, it's somebody else's thing that I work for, and this is my thing, and that's what I'm trying to do, if that makes sense. Yeah.
So would you like to make your living from music and YouTube then, your YouTube channel?
I ultimately, I think, maybe not a living, but enough to survive. I don't know if I need to have a living as much as I need to just not worry about life and just get to do the music, which I think is what everybody wants, is not even to have bills, let alone have to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But since we all have to pay the bills, music would be a nice way to do that. And that is something that actively I'm seeking towards trying to make a reality, believing in the concept and working every day towards making that a reality. That is the ultimate goal, but it's everybody's ultimate goal if they're, going for that type of thing. And it's not as easy to attain as it might seem. So I'm trying to be realistic as well.
It's very, very hard work unless you are discovered by an agent who can promote you as an individual or as a group or whatever. Watching your videos today, you are a very talented singer, and particularly in the songwriting aspect, because you write most of your songs, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something we pride ourselves on, not playing cover songs, that we, play all originals. When I'm playing solo, I do, in my live performances, I've thrown in a couple of covers, but I prefer to do all originals. Yeah. And that does go back to the ultimate goal of maybe being a professional songwriter, or maybe even just being known for what I do, the little bit of songwriting and playing that I do on my own. But it's also something that I do have to be realistic about and know that this is what I was going to do anyway. If I do have a full-time job, I'm still going to come home and paint, and I'm still going to come home and play some guitar. And the best part of YouTube is that you can share that, and it's not wasted time. You're not finished when you put the guitar down. Then you can take the video, edit it down, and share it with everybody, and it could be there years later. And I'm such a future thinker that I really do. I put these out there in the hopes that future me will come back in years and still be reviewing to make my playing better at that point too. I remember 4 years ago when I played that song on the vlog. I bet I could still do it better now. it's so much for future me to be able to look back, you know, that kind of relationship with your future self. It's kind of weird, but that's part of how I think, I guess, as well.
Yeah, which is very good, really. So, what software do you use to record your music then?
Well, for the vlogs, I just use my camera on my phone. I have a Samsung phone, so I just use the camera for the vlogs and most of my video recording. For the audio recording specifically, I use Sony Acid Pro, and so that allows me to capture everything in the room, dump it down, and be able to edit it in a way that, you know, I can change some equalization and things like that, make audio levels louder, and then also mix multiple tracks together.
Yeah.
From there, I can dump it into Adobe Premiere Pro for video editing, and that's how I get some of the edited time lapse and things like that with the music involved. So I'm super beginner at all of these softwares. So I'm kind of pointing and clicking, slapdash, this and that, and it's not quite pro yet. I'm not as clean as I would like on all of it, but I'm getting there, and that's part of the honing that I feel this first couple of year or two in vlogging is taking me towards, is honing the process of making videos, making songs, not just writing them on the guitar, but turning them into something that people will want to listen to from a quality standpoint, not just on a song quality, but on a recording quality.
Yeah. Gail says, what's your favorite song that you sing?
Favorite song? It would seem that would be difficult for me, but that is the easiest answer in the world. In My Life by the Beatles is my favorite song ever, and I don't see how it's not everybody's favorite song. It's the best thing ever written, and such a nostalgic piece that I can't even think about the song without getting almost misty-eyed. So, In My Life, the Beatles, John Lennon.
So I'm going to ask you to sing that one if you can, or would do for us, please.
I wasn't prepared, but I might be able to figure it out. I've got, sorry, Bakya.
That's all right.
I've got a book of all the Beatles songs, which is kind of my my practice.
Yeah.
Kind of like a hymnal. Let's see if we can't try this out here.
Yeah. I put him on the spot.
I don't know why I wasn't prepared to play this, but now they do some tricky chords. So let me make sure that my tricky chords. Okay, I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I'm gonna at least do a verse or two. There are places I remember, some are alive, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments. Lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. Though I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. This is the fiddly bit with the piano, which I can't do. Goes like that. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. before. I know I'll often stop and think about them in my life. I love you more. That's
brilliant. Again, considering I put you on the spot then.
You know, I thought that was a good version. I don't know that I'll ever play it better than that. I can keep going. I've got another couple of songs we could do, or I could certainly shout out 100 different YouTubers that have inspired me. So wherever you want to go from here, Keith, I think is great.
Yeah, so can you mention a few of those YouTubers then that have inspired you then?
Well, you know, you've interviewed a couple of these people for sure. Harry Fessler is a gentleman who really does inspire me. He's always out there doing something different. I think since you spoke to him, he actually did start doing more with the coins, and I thought that was great. He mentioned doing some music as well, and I'm sitting on the edge of my seat waiting to see some of that come down. So Douglas Fairchild, another YouTuber that I watch, he inspired Vlogtober for me. He was the first one I saw do regular October post.
Yeah.
Specific for Vlogtober. And I was like, oh, I gotta do that. Jump right on that bandwagon and rode it all the way to town. AKA Our Life, they're right down the road from me. Keith and Abby down in Wichita. So I like watching them just because it gives me ideas. Oh, I need to go vlog that. Oh, I should go vlog this. Like they said, Kansas is really a vlogging desert. I've tried to get my friends interested in doing vlogs. I've tried to, you know, see some other Kansas vloggers, and there's really not too many. So, you know, it's interesting. A couple of the other ones, you know, Laurel Bates, Marty 213, Railroad Preserver, Ned Mudd, just kind of rattle out a handful right there for you. But those are the people that I'm really watching a ton of and enjoying quite a bit.
Yeah. So have you ever, are you going to decide to meet up with Keith and Abby anytime then?
I would like to.
I think that would be great.
I don't know what I would do, and I don't know when I would do it. I guess is the hardest part for me to decide is, when can I do this? And I'm always like, we'll do it next week. And that next week turns out to next year, to next month, or whatever. It just strings out and strings out. So I would like to connect with them in a way that lets us, you know, do some collaborative vlogging. There's certainly some neat areas in these parts to share that I think we could both do service to, and all that fun stuff. So
yeah. So you also mentioned Catfish Jones on one of your recent videos that you are working on a new album, as you know, as such. I mean, you mentioned it as an album.
I did, and maybe I put myself a little too far out there, because since I've mentioned that as an album, I've really gotten away from the idea of an album. I'm just recording these on my computer, and they're not the best recordings, and maybe it's too serious of myself to think that I'm actually making an album. But I do have a good collection of songs that I call layers. I call the whole collection layers, and I play them for myself very regularly, and I've shared most of them on the vlog. And I'd like to, on the Bandcamp, catfishjones.bandcamp.com, I'd like to put them together and put that album up. But since I've been doing the vlogs, I feel like the time that I'm spending on the videos is just as valid and just as valuable. Yeah. But that does leave less time on the plate to kind of do all that work. So while my intention is to have another album on the Bandcamp, the reality is that it takes a lot more time than I have right now. So the slow going is still going to be slow going. And I'm trying not to take myself so seriously. It is what it is. I like a collection of songs that I call an album.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily albums because it's not, you know, published. It's not on a record label. It's not for real.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I like what I do. That's
if you put them on CD, 12 songs, you know, of your original songs, and advertise them on your YouTube channel, you might sell a few. You never know.
That's what my wife says too. So I think I should listen to you both.
Yeah. Because as I say, you've got quite a few followers now on YouTube. It's growing all the time. Hopefully, with tonight's interview, you might get a few more. subscribers. Because what's your goal for the next 6 months? How many subscribers have you set as a goal for your channel?
That's interesting, because I don't necessarily have goals for subscribers, but maybe I should. I'm at a little over 200 right now, and I'm scared to get too many before my content is good enough to serve that many. But on the same hand, my fears shouldn't hold me back. I should be able to make goals for 9 million. I would say my goal for the end of the year is to be at a solid 250. If I could be at a solid 250 to start 2018, I think that would be pretty good. I personally think that's a little far for me to go, but if I worked it, I could make it happen. If I don't meet that goal, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. But I think like you say, maybe having goals is gonna keep me motivated to do the next one and the next one and the next one, more than just the standard Wednesday vlog, but all the wonderful extras that I have planned.
Yeah. Because Welsh Tony says, put it in the description of all your videos, get a store on your website, and because I know people locally in my area who have got YouTube channels who are singers, and they produce, a CD with 12 songs on. They sell them for about £10 at the gigs that they do, and because they're playing pubs and clubs in the local area, and they've always got the CDs available. They also advertise them on their YouTube channel if you want them. About £10 each. And
that's interesting. And that's maybe an avenue I should pursue as well.
Yeah, because they're not professionally produced. They produce them in their own studios, like you at home. They've got the software. They do it. They've got the backing tracks and everything like that they can do. Oh yeah, I see. Random says we will get you there with shout out time. Yes, we will get you there.
Gail is awesome. I don't know how long you guys have known each other, but the work that she did just getting me hooked up with you, because she had found my vlog first and said, hey, my friend Keith does these one-to-one interviews. You got to check them out, and we'd love to get you on there. And that was a while back, and it took a month or so before we could even hook up. And here we are at the end of November, finally getting to it. So she is a hard worker when it comes to the YouTube work. And if she gets me there, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. But it's not about just the subs for me as much as it is about building quality content, being able to repeat that quality content, not just having a fluke here or there. And once I feel like it's repeatable, that I can do these various things at a level that I'm very proud of, then I will be all for gathering as many people to this banner as I can. But for now, I'm a little afraid of 1 million people coming to my doorstep and me, not having as quality of a show to play as I would like. But maybe I'll always have that fear. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, this is it. I mean, only one small criticism I would say on the live broadcast that you've done is that because you stand at the back of the room singing, there's not enough light in that studio.
Yeah, I can see that. And that's something I'm thinking of as well, as the different lighting. I have a blue mood lighting going on in this room in general. And so maybe for my lives, I should adjust that. I want to do more of those live streams. Another problem I have is I have a goal in mind, and so I work towards that goal and celebrate, hey, I did the goal, and then I don't do any more. I haven't done live streams since I did that one live performance live. And so I would like to continue to do regular live streams even without that end goal, even if it's just not playing a ton of songs, just chatting with Catfish or hanging with Catfish or playing some songs or who knows what. So I do have some ideas to get that going, and really I just need to get off the keister and do it more than anything else.
Well, it's it, I mean, talking to Harry the other week, You know, I mean, I didn't know he was interested in coins until I got talking to him, and now he's producing videos on that side. I didn't even know he sang, so I mean, I should have asked him about that. So I can always go back in another year's time and do re-interview the people that I've already interviewed, because you're the 39th interview that I've done of fellow YouTube creators, and you've all been different. Every channel that I've interviewed has been very, very different. You know, I look back at the people who I have interviewed, all their channels now have grown, you know. So I'm pleased to see the progress. Every channel who I talk to is progressing.
Oh, I'm sure.
And Barry says, why not do a weekly live stream?
Well, and that's something I've thought of as well. It does take a little bit of effort to put it all together. Weekly might not be an option. I'm thinking bi-weekly, every other Friday night, maybe doing a live stream. And maybe I don't have to do 2 hours like I have in the past. I think a half-hour, 45-minute session might be enough and not overtax myself in that same deal. But I really think that, especially with the response I'm getting from here, from everybody on here, all kinds of great shout outs and responses to the music we've got here, it means that I should provide more regular content. So I would say this Friday, look for me to do a live stream, because the fire is under me. I'm making a note right now.
Yeah.
But of course, if I do a live stream here Friday night over in England, it'll be entirely middle of the night for you guys. So I don't know how that would work out.
Yeah, that's the only problem, isn't it? It's the time difference that we have. I mean, really, for us, this time, your time of day now is ideal.
Right, which puts me on the weekend time. Because during the week I still work. But maybe I should, instead of thinking Friday night, maybe I should be thinking Saturday afternoon. Like when we started this interview, maybe I could do my weekly live streams, something like that. And it would be something where here in the States, people could see it. Other time zones, people would be able to see it and be on time with it as well.
Yeah. Well, that's you know, I mean, you know, it's 10 o'clock at night near enough. It's 10 to 10. So.
And it's not even 4 o'clock in the afternoon for us. But I love an international audience. That's part of why I wanted to be on YouTube with my music, is to share it with people who can't be in the same room with me. And so why not somebody as far away as possible, you know? And that's why this right here has just been a great opportunity to be able to share it with a broad group of different people that I don't know, might have some interest, and I might share some of theirs as well.
Yeah. Because the only thing I've noticed tonight, most of them who are on are from the UK, which is unusual, because I usually get a few American followers, and Pixie and Mrs. P haven't been on. And Granny Monster hasn't been on. It must have been an hectic 24 hours. The last 24 hours.
I wish they were here. We're having so much fun. And I'm seeing all these different names, so I'm going to go back and do subscribe to everybody who's subscribed to me, and make sure anybody that I don't have, I get caught up with as well.
Yeah, this is it. So has anyone got any questions in the chat for Catfish Jones? Pixie's been to the football. Yes, Barry. How did Sheffield United get on?
That'll do it. That will do it indeed.
So
play another song. Have another one prepared.
Yes, by all means. Yes, please.
More. And from there we can go wherever. But said I ain't giving up now. Ain't no way, no how. I've come come so far. I've tried so hard, but I ain't giving up now. Said I ain't throwing in the towel. Ain't no easy way out. If it's worth the pride, then it's worth the fight, and I ain't giving up now. And if I do, it'll be because we're through, not because of you. I know that I got limits, but I ain't giving up now. Now I know the way it's gonna sound, but I'm just saying what I found. If it's up to me to let this be, then I ain't giving up now. No, I ain't going underground. I ain't waving it around. We may agree to disagree, but I ain't giving up now. And if I do, it'll be because we're through, not because of you. I know that I got limits. I know that it takes time. I know you got problems, and you know I got mine. But it just takes some patience and a little bit of trying, just a touch of common sense, the will to compromise, to reach that common goal, to get on down the line. Cause I know where you're headed, and you know where to find me. Just give me a reason, just give me a sign somehow. I know that I got limits, I ain't giving up now.
Brilliant again. Brilliant again.
Thank you so much, Keith.
Got a few questions here from the viewers.
Yeah.
Where does the name Catfish come from?
Catfish, I claimed when I was maybe 19. The first name Catfish is just kind of redneck hillbilly country person kind of name. So I figured that would be general and I don't know, common enough. And then the most common last name I could think of was Jones. So I stuck Catfish and Jones together, made Catfish Jones, called myself Catfish Jones for years. It caught on with my friends. Pretty soon we decided as a group that we would just adopt the silly names for our music. And now we've got silly names galore. Because who doesn't love silly names?
So, Welsh Tony says, how long does it take to write and refine an average song?
Boy, they come in waves. Sometimes you can write one from start to finish in 20 minutes. It just comes at you. And then sometimes it might take years to get exactly what you want out of your head. The key for me is to always be listening for the song, you know, whether it's coming from my head or from other places in the universe, wherever the song comes from, I try to always be listening. And if a word pops out, I try to write it down. If music hits me, I try to hum it until I can get it recorded in a way that lets me remember it. But the most important thing to make those songs come out quickly is to have kind of a system of getting them out. Being able to write the chords down and not have to continue thinking about it, but just thinking about the meter. Once you have the meter down, being able to put some words with it, even if they're the wrong words, you get a placeholder kind of thing. And after years of doing this, my friends and I say friends, Mississippi Fuzz is my best friend. We've been best friends for 20 years or more. And we've developed a rapport that he can finish my sentences, I can finish his thoughts, And that's the biggest help in getting songs out quickly. We can, you know, Thursdays are writing practice, and usually we write a song every Thursday. But that isn't to say they're always good, and the good ones don't usually come easy. So it's a hard question to answer. I answered with 100 different answers. I'm sorry, but that's where that answer is.
Yeah, that's all right. So we've got JoJo Films in. I've just subbed to it. Hope the others have as well. They all say, well,
from the bog was asking if I was on VidMe, and I tried to do VidMe for a minute, but had some trouble uploading. So I've only got 2 or 3 of my first vlogs up on VidMe, and otherwise I haven't been back to VidMe for several months, since March of this year, I would say. So answering vlog from the bog, no, I don't really have a VidMe presence.
Have you got a Facebook or Twitter presence or Instagram?
I do. I have Facebook and all of that. The best place to find all of that is going to be catfish-jones.com. And maybe I can type that in over here and get that linked for everyone. Where's my Lincoln? Yeah, eventually it will.
You've got a rent, so you should be able to type anything in.
Should be able to. But yeah, that's the best way to do it is to the catfish-jones.com. Where we at right there? Let's see.
So, Catfish, does your wife sing at all or play a musical instrument?
She's not super musical. She sings in the car at the top of her lungs when nobody's listening.
Oh,
that's about the only time that I can get her to sing. She has a beautiful voice, but she, you know, it's not her passion. She has lots of other passions. And so it's something that I get to, at the house, I'm usually the only one making music. But, you know, I do have an adult stepson in his 20s who, when I came into the picture, he was in his early teens and kind of struggling with identity. And I was able to teach him how to play guitar, and it's a big part of his life now. A part that I'm very proud of being able to share with him. He had the natural passion for it and practiced himself to the point where he's proficient enough to make himself happy, which is all that really matters, is being able to provide that for somebody else in their life, and they have it forever. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. So does he write any songs then?
I think he fiddles a little bit here and there, but more he just likes to play songs that he already knows. And, you know, now he can figure them out and play them in his living room for his friends, and, you know, just something a little passively for him to enjoy. But music's such a magic like that, where, you know, once you figure out a little bit of something, you can share it with others, and it creates this spirit in a room that's good.
Yeah, it does. Anybody else in the chat got any other questions for Catfish Jones musically, or anything they would like to know about him? So, growing up then, you mentioned your grandfather and your father being very musical. So
very much.
It must have been a very musical household then.
It really was. I mentioned my grandfather because there's a tradition in my mother's family. The grandfather I mentioned was my maternal grandfather. The tradition they have is every get-together, we would have just instruments. There'd be 10 or 15 people playing different instruments, banjo, guitar, piano, violin, everybody with a different one. And those who weren't playing were singing along or shouting out the next song to play. And that tradition in our family really did build inside of me a desire to perform. You know, hey, all of a sudden I want to play my songs at these hootenannies. All of a sudden, you know, I want to be the one who's doing the solo or be, you know, stepping out front in some of these. And to see that from such a young age, and not to see it as weird, not to think that it was odd, I guess predisposed me to being able to perform a little bit and not think that was weird. To be able to put myself out there a little bit and not be too shy to even be able to do the first one. So absolutely great inspiration from that side.
So besides the guitar and mandolin, do you play any other instruments then, Catfish?
I do. I can play piano, although it's pretty rugged. I can pluck out what I want and then figure it out and then play some bass guitar a little bit here and there. never really did any horns or woodwinds or anything like that. Mostly what I've been playing is stringed instruments. I couldn't play drums to save my life. I might be able to clap a beat, but I certainly couldn't use all my appendages to make a drum sound. That's something I can't do. But stringed instruments, I can usually figure it out. Maybe not be a, you know.
But what about the violin? Can you play the violin then?
I haven't really tried, but I'm sure I could. Mandolin is very similar to violin, except, you know, it has frets. So the only difference is that you would just need to know. And so I think if I didn't look, I could figure it out. I have an aunt who plays violin very proficiently, and we've traded in the past, but I never really make anything happen on a violin, and she was able to make a mandolin sing. So.
Oh, because that's the challenge for you then. Eventually, on one of your videos, I'd like to see you play the violin. So, Random Life, Gail said, which place would you like to perform the most?
I don't know. That's a hard one.
Sydney Opera House. Or no, how about Nashville?
Well, I think about those. I think about great grand places, but I also think about quiet places, like, you know, more than Sydney Opera House, a place like Stonehenge, you know, more than, you know, Grand Ole Opry. I think about a place like Petra, or some of these ancient places in our world that maybe have been touched by people who don't exist in our culture. Those places are magical, and places that I would like to share my music with those places. So part of me can be there forever. There's some of those places here in Kansas that are absolutely magical, and I try to play there when I can. But to me, more importantly than, you know, some famous stages, which are great, and I would love to play at some famous stages, I'm a little more interested in playing at some very important places in our world for all of us. You know, some of those places. I think that's probably the most important place for me to play. Like I say, it's a tough one for me to answer because I want to answer all of them.
So I don't know whether you know that Gail's doing a Christmas karaoke on her channel. So on behalf of Gail, I'm going to invite you to Gail's Christmas karaoke party when she goes live on it.
Very good. I'll have to see what I can do to join in with that.
Yeah. Is that all right, Gail? Because which star would you most like to do a duet with? Oh, that's a good question.
Well, that is a great question because there's a bunch of them. Of course, it can only be living stars, so that takes the top 10 off. Willie Nelson is still alive. I would certainly love to do a duet with him, although I wouldn't be able to do it justice. Interestingly, most of the stars that I would like to duet with are either dead or close to it. There aren't a ton of modern performers who I don't know are super interesting to a point where I'd like to go and work with them. There's a couple of them, modern artists here and there that strike my interest, but most for me, you know, it's much older music from very different niches all across the spectrum. Since the 80s, it's been hard for me to find stuff.
Yeah. So the dead ones, then, who would you have liked to have done a duet with then?
Oh goodness, John Lennon first and foremost. I think very key. I think would be Louis Armstrong would be awesome to do a duet with. Oh man! In fact, if I could get him and Ella and Louis and Catfish, that's the record that never happened. That should have.
So you've got the software. Could you import them into it and do a duet with them then?
Well, Natalie Cole did it, didn't she? Didn't Natalie Cole do Unforgettable with her dad?
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, for your channel. You know, I mean, I think that's well.
I could do that. That would be hilarious. There's legal issues, so I think as soon as I did Ella and Louis, whoever owns that Verve or whoever owns the rights to those would come in and take it down. But, you know, at least it'd be up for a minute and I'd enjoy it.
Yes, so would we. So would we.
Right.
What's that? Wait, John Lennon dead? No, laughs out loud. Yeah. But Barry says, have you ever met anyone famous? Yes, me, Barry, me.
Well, absolutely. I met Keith. I've met a couple of famous people, especially depending on what you consider famous. A lot of this is through work, so I don't really want to get too deep in there. But certainly some movie stars here and there. But mostly who I've met are blues legends, Hubert Sumlin, Henry Gray. I got to meet Big George Brock. I've been able to meet Marquise Knox for several years, and he's been coming up for the past 10 or 15 or so. Really, a lot of blues legends, I guess, are the most famous people that I've been able to meet in that realm. And it's interesting for me because I'm such a fan that I gush, and I'm the little fangirl just squeaking, but it has been very fun to meet those people and that type of thing.
Yeah. So Gail asks, can you sing Imagine?
I haven't tried it in a long time. I don't have a book of it either, so I wouldn't be able to just whip it out like I was easily able to do in my life. And it was very lucky that I was able to. So I'm going to decline on that one at the moment.
Yeah. So can we have another Beatles song then that you've got handy there?
I have a Beatles songbook, and for Mississippi Fuzz and I, this was our Bible when we were really trying to hone our songwriting. For me, these guys were just the best songwriters, being able to craft pop songs. Oh man, there's so many good ones too. Oh goodness. Oh, all of those. Which one? Oh man. Oh. Okay, we'll try this one.
Okay then.
It's been a while since I played these. I have a plectrum. There we are. I've just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place where we just met. She's just the girl for me, and I want all the world to see we met. Had it been another day, I might have looked the other way, and I'd have never been aware. But as it is, I'll dream of her tonight. Da 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 da. Falling, yes I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. I have never known the like of this. I've been alone and I have missed things and kept out of sight, but other girls were never quite like this. Da 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 da. Falling, yes I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. I've just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place where we just met. She's just the girl for me, and I want all the world to see we've met. Da, 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 da. Falling, yes I am falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Oh yes, falling, now I am falling, but she keeps calling me back again.
Brilliant again. Barry says the Eggman or Helter Skelter.
Oh, I don't know if I could keep rolling on these. That's gonna be a lot, so I'm gonna decline playing either of those. As much as I would like to keep I would play the whole book all night, but I have to close the book if you don't mind.
No. Okay then, Catfish. Texas Life is in. Hiya, Hall. How's your day? Yeah, it's all right. So then, you've come in a bit late, Texas Life, because do you want to go on for a few more minutes, or do you want to close the interview? Because you said
I have a few more minutes, but we should start thinking about wrapping it up. I think we're kind of close to where I was wanting to shoot for time-wise.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I thought. So I am going to close it then, Catfish.
Okay.
I thank you for coming on to the interview with Time with Gramps. Really appreciate that.
Well, it's just been a brilliant time. I've had a lot of fun, and like I say, anybody that is in the chat, I'm going to try to get in there and subscribe to anybody I'm not subscribed to. Keep the networking going so we can all share our times together. And you know, as you get on and on with your interviews, maybe next year or something like that, I would love to join you again and see where we've grown both in our channels at that point. So
yeah, I would love to interview you again in about a year's time then, Catfish. Yeah, yeah. So thank you very much, Random Life Productions, Gail, for setting up this interview with this great musician, Catfish Jones.
Indeed.
Pleased that you've all stayed with me, mostly, especially Barry. He's been with us all night. And who else has? I'm just having a look. Ozbeach Andy's been in. Jojo Films. True Drone Reviews. So we've had Welch Tony. He's been in for most of the conversation. So really appreciate all this, and thank you for singing a few songs on this interview. Really appreciate it.
And see you guys again.
Yeah. Okay then. So bye for now, everybody.
Cheers all.